And we're back on 89. I said it on 89.7 KLES FM. That's $2. The hodgepodge section. You know what I'm going to talk about, folks. The Barry Bonds trial. The Barry Bonds trial has ended, and I don't even know how to comment on the verdict. Can someone please tell me how to comment on the verdict? He was found guilty of obstruction, saying that he misled prosecutors in their investigation in this matter. But yet, they were hung on the serious charges of this case. Now, every charge in this case is serious. He could have gone to jail for 10 years per charge. 40 years in jail he could have gotten. But most people felt that he would just get 15 to 21 months. And yes, Mr. Les Munson said, well, I don't know why Barry Bonds is so happy. His team didn't win one single count. That's true. In fact, the ESPN guy said, well, in baseball, the prosecution batted .250. And Mr. Munson screamed in, yeah, but Barry Bonds batted .000. That is true. But really, since 1998, we've been hearing about Barry Bonds possibly doing steroids. And we're in 2011, and they go to court to try to take him down. And they get nothing. He's not going to go to jail. He's going to do tons of community service, help the people of San Francisco, help the Boys and Girls Clubs of San Francisco. But he's not going to jail. But think about it. This trial started out with 11 counts. They were like, we got him on 11 things. Then they dwindled it down to 5. Then 4. And I love how, ESPN shows that, well, in one of the counts it was 11-1, and since it wasn't unanimous, they were hung on it. And the next one was 9-4 or 8-3 or something like that, or 9-3. So it wasn't unanimous, so we couldn't charge him. And it's like, what do we learn? What did we get out of it? He didn't even testify. He didn't have to say a word. And not only has this trial destroyed the Bonds family, it has destroyed the sport of baseball. That's right. It has destroyed the sport of baseball. Because basically now, what is the Hall of Fame? Seriously, think about it. What is the Hall of Fame? The Hall of Fame is about to have Roger Clemens, Manny Ramirez, Pete Rose, and Barry Bonds not in it. Pete Rose is the all-time hit leader. Barry Bonds is the all-time home run king. Manny Ramirez got 555 home runs and a .312 average. Two-time World Series champ. Won the MVP of the World Series when the Red Sox ended the curse. He's not in. Rafael Palmeiro got 3,000 hits and 500 home runs. Only 5 players have that. He's not in. And then you throw in Alex Rodriguez. He might surpass all of them. And he may not get in. Sammy Sosa's got 609 home runs. He's not going to get in. Roger Clemens is a 7-time Cy Young Award winner. Plus 354 wins. Over 4,000 strikeouts. Not going to get in. None of these guys are going to get in. Because in the last 5 years of their careers, when the money was off the charts, they decided to get paid. Mark McGwire, 580 plus home runs. Not going to get in. All because from the ages of 35 and up. And it's funny because When Viagra was discovered, it was a pill that was supposed to increase sexual libido, and everyone was cool with that. But for professional baseball players trying to extend their career by taking some juice, all it has done is ruin them. And I'm not trying to compare Viagra to steroids, but it's a performance enhancer, isn't it? The Baseball Hall of Fame is a joke, and so is this whole steroids era. It's a joke. But then again, if they were in NASCAR, when they tell you if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, there wouldn't be a problem. And we'll be back on 89.7 KLASFM after this.
All of your auto repairs, including expert collision work, LA Radiator on Santa Monica Boulevard is the place to go. Located just a few steps east of Vine, LA Radiator offers the fastest service at the lowest cost available anywhere in the area. Whether it's just a tune-up or a major repair, you'll be putting your car in the best hands possible. Don't let the name LA Radiator fool you. They do a lot more than just radiators. Remember, the next time your car needs any repair, try LA Radiator at 6216 Santa Monica Boulevard, located just a few steps east of Vine Street in Hollywood.
And in my final segment on 89.9 KLASFM, it kind of flows into what I was just talking about the Hall of Fame. And I'm talking about the Masters. And basically, I'm stunned because the Masters last weekend was simply awesome. If Tiger had not bogeyed the 4th hole and the 12th hole and made that eagle on 15, I'm not talking about score-wise he would have won, but the roar around that place would have changed everything. And I think he would have won the tournament. I think everyone would have crumbled around him. The excitement that he generated in 2 hours of watching it. I had just come from church and I could not believe what I was seeing. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe he had tied the score. I couldn't believe that he was on the leaderboard. I couldn't believe what he was doing. And how I'm going to equate that with what I just talked about a second ago is simply like this. There's only really, right now in sports, one person, maybe, who can generate what Tiger Woods did in those 2 hours. And that is why we need our legends to be legends. That is why it's painful to me and why I criticize the Baseball Hall of Fame as being meaningless when our legendary players like Barry Bonds, Pete Rose, Roger Clemens, Manny Ramirez let us down in society. And yes, Tiger let society down as well. But there's still no better feeling as a sports fan when you're watching greatness be great. Now they say Roger Federer is the greatest tennis player to ever live. I don't agree, but when he is playing well, and when he is sharp, and when he's making returns and making plays, it is pretty special to see. Now the only person in sports who can basically generate what Tiger Woods has generated right now, for me, is Manny Pacquiao. I know there's a lot of people who are Kobe fans, and they say, wait a second, what about Kobe? Kobe was a great player. But Kobe is nowhere in the same conversation with Tiger Woods, Roger Federer, or Manny Pacquiao. Yes, he's got 5 rings, but he wasn't the stud in all 5 rings. Shaq was the stud in 3 of them. Now the last couple he has been. But I'm not sitting in my house watching and like at the edge of my seat telling my daughter about how great Kobe Bryant is as I do about Tiger Woods. Serena Williams, maybe. Serena, you know, when she is playing sometimes, yeah, she keeps you at the edge of her seat, but Serena kind of, you know, she's great. I don't think she's legendary, but I think she's just a great player. And the sports world, in my opinion, right now, is missing that. It's missing having that Michael Jordan, having that even, you know, one person that you just look at and you just make sure every night you want to find out what that person did that day in sports. I hope Tiger does win some tournaments this year. I hope he does find his game to give me that feeling that these baseball players have stolen from me, what they've done with performance-enhancing drugs. But I'll still keep watching, and I hope you keep listening. And so this week, I want to thank you guys all for tuning me in, and I will see you soon.
One of the best shows I've ever done.